So the Supreme Court just ruled against many of President Trump's far-reaching tariffs. That's going to create all sorts of uncertainty about what happens with tariffs and trade going forward. But it's worth taking a moment to step back and look at whether President Trump's tariffs were having their intended effect in the first place. So this chart shows the U.S. trade balance, which is the gap between how much we export and how much we import. So the negative numbers here show that we have a trade deficit going back years. President Trump has made shrinking the trade deficit one of the primary goals of his administration. But when we take a look, there was this huge surge in the trade deficits, huge wave of imports early in the year as companies rushed to bring in goods before tariffs hit. And then once tariffs hit in the spring, we saw this big decline in imports and a shrinking of the trade deficit. But what we can see over the course of the year as a whole is that we really did not see the kind of decline in the trade deficit that President Trump promised. In fact, the trade deficit in goods grew last year and hit an all-time high. So why did the trade deficit grow? There are some clues in this second chart, which breaks it down by country. When it comes to China, we've seen this really big decline in the trade deficit, which of course is something that President Trump has said for years he wants to do. But rather than leading to an overall decline in the trade deficit, we saw record trade deficits with Mexico, with Vietnam, with India, with other countries, as companies found other trading partners to work with and brought goods in from those places instead of from China. The takeaway here, I think, is that President Trump has touted his tariffs as a way to be less reliant on imports, to shrink the trade deficit. And in 2025, at least, that didn't happen. In fact, arguably, the opposite occurred.